Hi everybody. I hope you're having a good start to your weekend. It's been a few weeks since I've shown my coloring collection. There's been a lot of upheaval personally and in my job, and honestly I'm kind of burnt out. I might do a coloring chat tomorrow where I just kind of talk about all the things that are bugging me lately. Like I do anything else. But we'll see how that goes. However, I wanted to record this. I'm also going to be traveling for work next week. Sorry for the road noise. I am outside because it is a really nice day. Today is the first day it really feels like fall. Like fall in the south. So excited, but also, I want it to be cooler. I just don't want it to be cold. And apparently I just can't have this type of temperature year round. Anyway, I'm hoping to do some pre-recording so that, so I'll be traveling next week to Seattle for work. Husband will be holding down the fort with the kiddos. And then, I have to stay an extra day than I usually do, so I won't be back until like Saturday morning at 4 a.m. Not thrilled about that, but not a lot I can do. And so I would like to pre-record some videos for possibly next weekend as well, because I'm pretty sure I'll be exhausted by the time I get home. So hopefully I can take some time today and tomorrow to do that, and you might get one in the middle of the week too. I don't know. We'll see. I wish I could show you. I have to take a picture of it, but I have all these birds at this bird feeder right next to me this morning. They're getting used to my voice and the sounds out here because unless I move or make a whole lot of noise, they generally don't get spooked. I've got a couple doves, I think a little type of finch, and then like 2 or 3 cardinals. So alright, coloring book collection. We're getting to the end of the shelf I had. That is, if I have more than one book by an artist, they go in this shelf. And then we're going to start with my one-offs section, and we're going to start with it today and then keep going through it on the next one. So this is my coloring book collection and any completed pages that I have while we're going through them, which as we know is few and far between, but that's okay. Alright, so I have the Reptiloids books by Vassal Saiko, S-A-I-K-O, S-A-I-K-O, there we go. These are smaller books. They're more, let me find it regular. Well, we'll do Maria Trolle. So if you want a comparison on the size of the book, these are smaller books. And I actually do have an in progress one right here. I did not remember. And these aren't complete flip throughs. I'm just showing you. I have to keep reminding myself of this. I'm showing you. These are just really cool. I love like reptile or lizard fantasy type creatures, so I love that these are doing like things like sleeping, and they're in costumes and doing people things. And then there's a Reptiloids too. And these are single-sided, so this one's got a lot of landscapes. Alright, I have books about cat butts. These are by @Valbrains, I guess is how you say it. And I know like a lot of people don't like these types of books, but of course I saw one specifically about cat butts and I couldn't resist. I thought these were hilarious. So I picked up, there's more in the series, but I just picked up 3 because, you know, I have plenty of cat butts already in the house. I, you know, only need so many in book form. So here's Cat Butts in Space. I don't know if I'll ever color as much in here, but they're just amusing books. Cat Butt Halloween. I did color in one of these for a live stream once. A lot of people like that. And the pumpkin butt one's pretty good. It's the backgrounds because they're so busy. But I could just do one solid color and these would not be intensive. Well, I have colored in more than one. So I did this page, which turned out pretty cool. I'll be Candy Coma, Crack-o-lantern. I like some of the puns. Not a lot of toilet humor here, but and then the original cat butts. But we have our moments. There's the one we did on the live stream because I colored him like Leroy and then held it up by Leroy, and you could tell in the picture he was not amused. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I took the little extra touch of putting like little cat butt black holes in space. So the detail work on this one was astounding, let me tell you. The exhibitionists. Anyway. Like I said, I don't have a lot of those, but I got some. Now, these are very good choices for the upcoming Halloween season. I have a number of books from Usiko. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to start working on these. We need to add one to my list this month. These are really cute as well. So all the books I've shown so far are smaller, more square type books. So like these are shorter. I try to tell people that because sometimes I forget to look and then I get it and I'm like, it's not a big deal, but you know, I'm all about people getting information. So, all right, so we have Witches Around. This, I might be one of the newer ones. Didn't say on here. So she's got some of them. Yeah, I think this is her newer one. So she's got some older ones that have thinner line art, but these have a little bit thicker line art. And so if you don't really like the thin line art, you might prefer her newer ones. But these are so cute. I think I'm gonna have to buy a new set of Towel Tree markers, because I feel like if I want to do markers in here, I don't know, like regular size fat markers might be too much for this kind of detail work. This might be more thin little markers. But I love these pictures. And we're not doing full flips, Michelle. Y'all, I'm scattered this morning. Scattered. So that is Witches Around. Year of Witches is one of her older ones. You can see the difference in the line art like I was talking about. I still like them. If I wish I could find a pencil that I really liked using on Amazon paper, because these are Amazon books, because I would just use pencil on some of these, but I just have a hard time using just pencil on Amazon paper, and I don't like it without a base color. So might be a good opportunity to try some water-based markers too. Witches. This is also one of her older ones. Yeah, this is where, again, I think the towel tree markers would probably come into play. That one's got a little thicker line art. I could also try copying these onto nicer paper, which I've seen a lot of people do, so I might try that with the thinner line art. We have a couple Lonely Pumpkins books. Lonely Pumpkins Christmas, which would be a great Christmas book. This one's got the thicker line art. This is a way to get me color Christmas, make it Halloween-y. And then Lonely Pumpkin. Make sure it's a little trickier to know whether or not I'm actually in camera here, so. All right. Now let's get to Maria Trolle. Maria Trolle, I'm not sure, there's people say it all kinds of different ways. I have quite a few of her books, and just like everything else, there are more books I need to be coloring in her books more. So this is a collection of favorites. Humorous is her collection book, so collection from her other books and then some new illustrations. Now these come where you can get the English ones, and then you can get what's the other language they're in? I can't remember. Those usually come out first, and then the English version follows up. I have found that, I think it's hers, that the paper in the non-English versions is more of like a white, and then this is more of like a cream color, and I find I like this like cream color more. So I usually wait to get the English version of the books. Otherwise, it doesn't particularly matter to me. Like, I think I have some of Hannah Carlzon's books that are not the non-English versions. Just those usually become available sooner. But oftentimes you have to go to either other types of non-US Amazon or go to other sites to be able to purchase those. And I think hers are on very similar paper either way, so I don't, you know, I'll buy one or the other. But I noticed the one time I bought one of Maria Trolle's books early, the non-English version, it was on white paper, and I was like, you know, I don't really like that as much as I like this sort of off-white cream color. So it's got listed here which one these pictures are from. And then I think the new images are mixed in. We have Botanicum. Now, I do not have all of her books. There's a couple of them. Wow, I just realized, like, I got to zoom out the camera. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Let's look at Universe again real quick. I did not realize how far out it was, or how close in it was. Sorry about that. These are double-sided. I find I've used gelatos in here. I've used colored pencil. I think these do well with a variety of mediums. And I just need to color in them more. In fact, I might take one of these with me next week with a pack of pencils. Alright, Botanicum. I don't like to take alcohol markers on flights because they can, the pressure changes can mess with them. And the last thing I need is to have like alcohol markers explode on me. Not explode literally, but like pop open or bleed everywhere, or the moment I open it up it goes everywhere. So here's one of the pages I've completed in there. This was gelatos in the background, water-based markers, and gel pen for everything else. I did this a little bit after Oreo, my cat, had passed away, because of course I colored the cat to look like him. I think I was testing, like, some gel pens do shadow through. So you got to be a little careful about that. I have to say, I love the black background pages. I think they're my favorites. I love the way she draws cats as well. You know, I have pretty good success with the water-based markers in this book, and one of the things I've been wanting to do is use my water-based markers more often, so... And I can take those on flights, and they seem to do okay, so... Twilight Garden. Seems like this has got some pattern pages. The difference in the drawing here is interesting. These look like it's a little bit bolder lines, a little bit bigger images. Yeah. I need to go get some more coffee. One of the things I really like about her books is at the end of them, not in this one, well, at the end of most of them, maybe in her older books she didn't do this, but in some of her newer books, like Botanicum, she lists the flowers on the pages, both like they're common and, so plant register, and then she has insects as well. So if you want to color something like what it normally is colored in you know, the world, you can look it up easily. Flora. Nightfall. What was I doing right there? Who knows? I'm not doing these in like publishing order, so I think Nightfall and Twilight Garden are some of her older books. I think a lot of these, unless they have backgrounds, like here's the water, I think a lot of these I might try to get comfortable with just doing the pictures with no background. Some of them. I've also been trying, I've been really contemplating getting into using inks and oil pastels. There's that plant register back there. But I just haven't had a chance yet, so it might be an opportunity here. Luna. That would be a pretty one to work on. Yeah, it's going to be the next thing is picking which book I want to work in. And boy, my desire to color on the way there versus when I actually get there always end up being different. Because I just get so tired from traveling. Plus I have to get up at like 3 or 4 a.m. on Monday, and it's the time zone's 2 hours behind. So I'm perpetually tired the whole week. And I think I'm going to try to be a little more conservative this time about what I think I will and won't do. In the past, most evenings, by the time I get done doing the social thing during the day and all the different events and sessions and stuff like that, I'm usually just wanting to sit there, watch something, and zone out. I like that one. So, but this might be, if I was going to take just a solely pencil book to work in, I think I'm going to take one of hers, because it has been a hot minute. This is her latest one, Shooting Star. And I do like it. I don't think I like it as much as some of her others, though. I feel like the line art's a little thinner in a lot of these pictures. All my stuff's in the way. I always find it interesting to own different books from artists over the years, because you just see their styles change, and I just find that really interesting. Moon Valley. I actually have a page to show y'all on this one. There we go. Oh, Tammy, I think we still have to do this page. We still have a buddy color in here. These were not originally black. I blacked out the backgrounds on these, so just as a heads up. But I did this page using Arctic pencils, and thought he turned out cute. And then we were going to do a double page spread in here, and I think we've forgotten to go back and do that one. So I have to talk to her about that. But I wanted a black background for both anyway, so I just went ahead and did that step. All right, where are we on time? Next up is Sugar Sweet, so like this. And he has an Etsy shop. I really like his art. He has an Etsy shop. I have a number of printables that I've printed. Oh, speaking of which, I'm missing a book. Let me go grab that. Here's but I really like his art. Let's show this one first. And I bought a number of printables off his Etsy store, but I'll probably show those in, like, if we ever get around to my digital books and digital pictures, I'll show those there. But I'll link, I may actually go ahead and link his Etsy shop down below. But I love his art. And it started with these Cat 22 coloring books. he has these cute little cat profiles and pictures. He's also pretty active on social media. He's got a YouTube channel and had a Facebook page, but I think he's been having trouble with Facebook, which haven't we all? Here is series 2 from Cat 22. Tammy and I are actually doing a buddy color in this one this month. So I will have a completed page out of one of these. We're doing this one because it's BMO, like kind of like my my newest cat. It's technically BMO because she is named after the character in Adventure Time, but when I spell it out, sometimes I spell it out like that too. Something for everybody. I like this bonus page here. So you have pages like this that are just, and I love his art, his drawing style, and his composition style. It's just unique to a lot of the other books that I own. And he adds a little bit of shading in there at times. Some different drink recipes. And then his latest book is this one, which that's a weird sound. For colors is probably pretty interesting. It's a historical fiction coloring book drawing the timeline that talks about like color history of like colored pencils and different types of art supplies and products. And I'm sure this we're going backwards, but showing like when brands were established and using of course cats for the different people that he references, which I think is pretty cool. I'm hoping I can do one in here this month too, but I don't know, we'll see. Closing the first week of the month and I really haven't done a lot of coloring. So alright, let me pause this so I can go get some more coffee and then we'll continue on. Alright, we are back. Leroy needed some affection as well. He's not the brightest bulb, but he's pretty smart in that he knows when I bring the luggage out I'm going somewhere, and I think he is already feeling antsy, so poor thing. Alright, so these are all books that are just kind of one-offs. I only have maybe one by the artist, and I just don't have them in my regular shelf. They pretty much just take 2/3 of a shelf. Or in my bookshelf, they take about 2/3 of a shelf on the other one. We'll start out with a good one for right now. Tiny Little Horrors. I have to say it like that because my southern accent makes it sound like something else. And I don't think YouTube likes how it sounds. So I have to say it out like that. This is Glenn Dent Books, and it is obviously a smaller book. And has some pretty cute characters in it and different little scenes. Oh, I have done one in here. Look at that. Oh yeah, because my genius behind was trying to use this distress ink spray stuff on the border of the smallest book I could possibly find. Use a spray thing, and yeah, that went pretty crazy. Wouldn't recommend doing that. Look, I never said I was the brightest bulb in the bunch. Mystical Cats in Secret Places. This is by, well, it says illustrations by Noel, and it's like waves of color. These are double-sided. Now, over the years, I have learned that I don't really like busy pages that have Zentangle or Zendoodle type fillings or little accent things, but there are some books I don't mind, and over time I've also gotten more comfortable with filling in those areas like with one strong color rather than trying to do all the detail work. And I did a buddy color in this. I think it was with Poets Wise, I think. And we did this one. This, I used my Faber-Castell Gelatos as a base, and then did Prismacolor pencil over the top of it. I also used some shimmer paint, the Ranger Ink Delusions shimmer paint. Well, and I had originally painted her the white and found that the white yellows, so like if you're looking at the shimmer paint, I wouldn't do that. So she ended up being more, I guess it could be a boy too, ended up being more of like, I made it more like a cream color. And then him, I ended up mixing the black and the white to make more of a gray. And I think I added some shimmer paint to the bird as well, but turned out super cute. Was really happy with this, and proud of myself for getting into this book and actually doing a page. Now I have to go chase down that paper that was there. Cat Designs Coloring Art. This was something I bought way early on. I don't even know if it says product concept manufacturing. It looks just like one of those you would probably pick up in the dollar store or something, but the pictures in it are really nice. And they have like little quotes on the other side. So I don't know if you can find this still, but it has some really neat pictures in it. I'm not usually big on quotes, but I've made a couple exceptions. Catherine Benante, Minka's Journey. Tammy had told me about this one. This is on our, oops, sorry, hang on a minute. Boy, they were really, they were struggling. Tammy had told me about this. I really liked it, and this is actually part of our group of books that we're going to do buddy colors in. Rather than doing just one project book for right now, we've got a collection of books that we both own that we haven't colored much in, and so we kind of put them in this, she's got an app she can put them in and like spin the wheel and it'll just land on one. We're doing one monthly and like one quarterly, and this one's in there because I think like me She keeps looking at it and she's like, it's cool and want to color in it, and then just keep forgetting about it. So these are, a lot of these are double page spreads, but they are one-sided, which is really cool. You don't see that often in Amazon printed books. World of Cats coloring book. This is by Sun Life Drawing, and I think they've put a few books out recently, but they used to put out a lot more years ago. And most of their stuff was like one color or color by number, but they did do a couple that were non-color by number, and there's actually one I still want that's hopefully you can still buy. But World of Cats was one of them. And I think it's a neat little book. It's thin line art, but like I said, you can make that work if you're a marker gal. And they're just really cute pictures. That would be a good one for Halloween. I think I've actually done two in here. One of them looks like it has tried to yellow a bit. When I realized I had markers that yellowed, I tried to remember to put papers down. This one's not too bad. I think it was just one marker. There we go. So here was this one. And then there's a fun one where they're at the beach. You had one other. This was a buddy color with somebody, but I can't quite remember who. And there is some yellowing on this one. Now, I'm pretty sure at this point I was not using markers. I thought I wasn't using markers that yellowed, but evidently some of them still are. Well, that's a shame. I wish I knew. That was the stickles in the orange. I wonder if the stickles on that made that bleed through. So yeah, the only places that bled here is where I put gel pen or stickles over an orange. So it's not a huge deal, just annoying. One of that and running out of a marker right in the middle of coloring with it are my two least favorite things about markers. One I definitely need to get back into is the Wicked Plants coloring book. There is an actual book version of this as well that they then converted into a coloring book. And this is by Amy Stewart and Brianni Morrow Cribbs. And it's just got the different flowers or plants in just kind of a black and white layout, and then it talks about them on the other side, what they are, whether they're deadly or just make you sick, and what their habitat and their common names. And really interesting book. And I had started using my Black Widow pencils because I just thought that was appropriate. When we get to the Black Widow review, I'll probably pull out this book as a reference point. But I needed to go to the next one in the series, which is Castor Bean, I think. But these are the ones I've done so far. I don't do a whole lot of, I'll do a little bit of shading in here, but mostly just coloring them in. I am trying to color them accurate to what they are in nature. So this is going to be a lot of greens and browns, I'm sure. But definitely doesn't take long to color these, so I need to pick this back up. Pixies and Fairies by Jana Proseverina. I love her art, but I just don't... the word I'm trying to say. I love her art, but I don't see myself owning multiple books. Like, I own this one and I like it because I like fairies and stuff, and I like her art, but I don't see owning books and books of her stuff because it has a similar feel to me. I don't know. I have stuff of hers I think still on my wish list. Like, it's just, I love her. I like her stuff. I want to color it, but I don't know, like, if I would rather get well into one of these books before I pick up another. That's kind of where I'm at right now on her art. Her Selena Finish is similar, where I like their art, but I'm just not coloring enough in their books to justify picking up more books. So until I really get into that mode, I don't anticipate I'm going to pick up a lot more books until I really get in the groove of figuring out how I want to color these. Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson. I think there is another one out there by this artist, and then there may be another one available on Amazon now. I don't know. Still debating whether or not I'm going to get that one, but I do like the Mystic Animals. You get the image on one side and the description of what the animal means. Like so like, let me give you an example. Let's find the cat, and we will talk about the cat. It makes me think a little bit of, oh, I cannot say her name. Circle of Life book. I can't think of her name offhand, but it reminds me a little bit of her art, which I really like. Okay, well, I was going to find a cat, but we're going to stick with a fox. The cunning fox is a master problem solver, deeply attuned to the natural environment and quick to adapt to any situation. I'm not going to read all this. Those who feel a connection to the fox may have a similarly adaptable and resourceful spirit. No matter what character the fox displays, its constant and steady sense of self. This canny creature serves as a reminder while the world may ask you to blend in, and your true spirit will always be your most valuable asset. So, there we go. And next up is this, Cats by Mesdemoiselles. I have 2 copies of this. Were these the ones I found at Ollie's? Yeah, these are the ones I found at Ollie's. Probably one of my best Ollie's finds. These are just really cute books with different cats. Big surprise there. I've done this page. I started doing this page with different types of pencils, and then quickly got bored of that idea. I don't know how I feel about the feather pages, like where it looks like feathers instead of fur. I don't know how I feel about those. I like these types of pages. I don't know about the ones that are just, like, I like these. The ones that are just straight up patterns, I don't know how I feel about. Like, will I ever fully complete this book? I don't know. Like, this one's a lot of leaves, unless I just do something crazy different. Which just does feel like a crazy different kind of book, doesn't it? Yeah, this thing where it's like feathers instead of fur, there's something about that. It unnerves me. I'd started this with my Amazon Basics and quickly decided against that, continuing that. Yeah, I think that's it in here. Oh, I'd started this one. There's no telling what that color was. I was going to do that one because I liked it. I need to get back to that. Cat Doodles Cuteness Overload. I had a copy of this, and in my freestanding completed pages that I've cut from books that I've given away, you'll see some of them in there that I saved, but there was so much yellowing in that book that I just bought a clean copy. Because I just like it too much. This is by, it says Roni Pios, but it's a Julia Rivers book. And it's just got all kinds of fun cats. I think it's adorable. Jamie's Coloring Love has, and they may still be working through it, the Fox, a color through of this book, the Fox Family, which I bought it for that and just never got into it. But I still like the book and I want to color in it. It's a little similar style to World of Cats, I feel like, which is interesting to me. It's still really cute though. There's another one, I think it's the Mouse Family or something that I like. She's got a couple of them, and I think there was one other that I really liked. Alright, speaking of toilet humor, my husband got me this as just a make me laugh, make me smile kind of thing. He was lamenting that he couldn't find dinosaurs on skateboards, which is somewhere else. I need to find that one, but he was able to find those, and he got this one along with it. It's quite windy today. I picked this up, Curious Foxy World, Spring Coloring Book by Jennifer Rolling. It's got the circle kind of slice of life images, which I like a lot. And I love foxes. This will be a really cute one when Foxy February comes around to at least do one page in. Dina Stone. I think I'm down to just this book of hers. Neko Girls. I'm not particularly big on profile pictures of people, but I do like the style of this one. I'm normally not big on like cat ears and tails on people, but like I said, occasional. Sometimes I see books and I have exceptions. So, Cats in Space by Strange Design, and it pretty much is the title. I have done one in here, my little green alien cat. Just again, very unserious coloring book. Ruth Sanderson, Fantastic Cats. I love her art, but it is very detailed. Of course, I love cats doing people things, or any animal doing people things. Oh, this is must be 2 sets of each image. This one in particular, she has a castle full of cats, which is both a storybook and a grayscale book. I've decided to part ways with the grayscale book because I just am not going to ever color in that. It's extremely complicated, but I am keeping the storybook of it because it's very cute. So you got a couple different styles in that one. My Tiny Forest coloring book. The one downside to the single book shelf is a lot of times little books like this get lost in the shuffle, and this is kind of one of them. This is by Nina Stajner, and this was one I picked up a few months back that is just absolutely adorable, and every time I see it I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot I had that one, which I do that with a lot of my books, but this one in particular. It is a smaller square style book. It is very cute. I love woodland animals, squirrels, raccoons, owls, foxes, hedgehogs. Sign me up. Molly Harrison. This is her Whimsical Halloween 3, Sweet and Spooky. Actually, I think she should move to my other shelf because I think I have more than one book by her, but we're going to find out as we go through this. This should be in my stack. I've got a Faerie book by her, so I know that's the case. Again, another artist that has, I love her art, and I could buy a bunch of her books, but I need to really color in the ones I have first before I do that. Some of them I can do that. Now you get a grayscale version with like a black background or a dark background, and then you get the line version. Now y'all know I'll probably be coloring this version, but I'm curious to see how, because this is pretty dark grayscale, I'm curious to see how that's going to translate to my markers. Some of these I may actually just do the original line art. But I do like she gives you 2 different options. Alexandra Danneman, Woodland Animals. Again, anything woodland animals, I am a fan. I love, again, black backgrounds, I'm a huge fan of. That cat was looking awful kindly upon that mouse. And finally, a book I love but I haven't colored in. I actually love it so much I have 2 copies. Spooktacular Halloween Adult Coloring Book. And this was done by Lemon Drop Coloring. I don't know if they have much else out there. I now am thinking of veering away from publishing companies rather than artists. And I'll talk about that in my next coloring chat and kind of why I'm thinking that. But back then it wasn't as much of a problem, and like this book for some reason was just absolutely charming. I think it is so good. Like the art's good. There's a lot of puns, there's a lot of funny pages that I like. Like there's a story here, we have this, and then we have this, and it's like, okay, I want to tell the story of what happened there, but I love a lot of the pictures in here. They're just so much fun, and I've done quite a few in this book. I think it was the very first double page spread I had ever done, and I used markers in the background to blend, Use markers as a base across the board, then shaded with pencil. I also used some gold kind of paint markers for the sarcophagus, and really love how this page turned out. This yellow is kind of faded over time, but otherwise it's stayed pretty nice. I did this one year using, I think it was Albert Dürer watercolor pencils, and I was pretty pleased with how that came out. Like each of these, not all the pictures are super interesting. There's a couple that I'm just like, you could have done without that. But I did this one year. I used paint back here and paint on the bats. I used paint on her too. I used a lot of paint in this picture. And then did marker on the rest with like some shading. It doesn't really shine as much as it used to, but yeah, her whole dress and her and, her dress is paint. So yeah, I used quite a bit of paint on that page. And then I did this one, which as you can see has yellowed a ton in this red, whatever it was that I used years ago. And I like this because it's like Vampire Cafe, and they have a menu over here, zombie fresh sandwich, vampire milkshake, of course. Love how my zombie girl turned out here. I guess in retrospect, I would have tried to make everything a little brighter in the background, but it's a Vampire Cafe. Of course, everything's going to be dark and brooding. I think that's all I've done in there. And then this hopefully should be, yeah, I got a fresh copy. So I can do some of those pictures again and hopefully avoid the yellowing. Anyway, this will be pretty good to crack open this year if I have the time and effort. But I don't know if it's still available. This is one of the ones I bought the first few years I started coloring, and I just, like I said, it's something about it. It's a vibe. Sometimes you just get a coloring book and there's a vibe about it and you like it. And this has been the case for me. And it is Amazon printed, I think. But and maybe because this is older paper, this was printed in 2018. So when the first year I started coloring, I bought this book, and it may simply be the paper in it is a whole lot different than it was than it is now. And so that might be one of the reasons, like, my watercolor page held up well. Though the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils need less water, so they're actually preferable to use. If you're going to use watercolor pencils in Amazon books, I recommend ones that don't need much water to activate. So that would be Albrecht Dürer, any of the Caran d'Aches, like the Super Colors or the Museum Aquarelles. So, all right, I think that we are going to wrap this up. We're at about an hour. That's pretty healthy. I don't know when you're going to see this video because I keep thinking, like, I think you're going to see it on Saturday, hopefully. I may do a color and chat tomorrow, just out of something. I know watercolor summer 2024 is still going on for one more month, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able. I'm going to try to do at least one more demo video this month, but we're not going to be able to get to. There's so much going on, and those take a while to set up. So, but I would like to just do a color and chat, maybe some marker and pencil on a page. I'm thinking maybe Joshua Dunbar. He's got a fall book I really like. Just something that's a little simpler, or just color by number, because I've got some different things I want to talk about. And yeah, so we may do that. And then, like I said, I'm out of town next week. I'm going to try to pre-record maybe another coloring book collection next Friday. I have a completed book, may have 2 completed books to show you. And I have some new books I bought to show you. I have my Artisto color pencil review I need to do. So you're going to see some variety of this. You'll probably see some videos during the week this week, if I can make all this happen today. It's just, I can only do with what energy I have. So, you'll get some mixture of all these things. And then probably the weekend after next, I'll probably do the next demo video or next coloring chat I do. I can fill you guys in on what happened in Seattle and all that stuff. So, kind of just a heads up what's going on. I know, like I said, my videos have been a little minimalistic lately, but it's just been hard to sit down and want to record. I'm even struggling to color a little bit. It's just burnout this time of year for me. It's same as last year. It's not as severe, I don't think, but and I'm going to try to push through it, but just everything I'm kind of struggling with right now. So, but I'll talk about that more in the coloring chat. So yeah, next coloring book collection, we will continue in my one-off shelf. Either get majority through that or finish it up. And after that will be color by number books, which I have quite a few of. And this is probably going to bleed into next year because I waited so long to keep these videos going. And then hopefully I can actually do my digital collection after that. We will see. I also need to do a video showing you all the completed pages I pulled from the books that I donated. Because a lot of those you either haven't seen yet on here because they were already put off to the side, or something like that. So, alright, thanks for watching, and bye for now.